Hi, I'm Margaret Lewin and welcome to Margaret Lewin Quilting. Today we're going to make the checkerboard block, and this is exactly what it looks like. It's an extremely simple block where we're just going to lay out the blocks one next to the other, sew them together, and the block will be finished. So it looks like we start with a blue block, and I will just lay out a row here so that you can see exactly what it's going to look like. I think we do 5 or 6, right? 5. So we're going to do 5 across and 5 down. So the first row we started on the blue, ended with a blue. So on the next row we're going to start with the pink, which these are fabric colors 9 and 12. So we'll end with a pink. And as I said, we're going to make 5 rows of these. When I go to stitch these together, how I'm going to do it is basically row by row. Let me get these all laid down so that you can see what it looks like right off the bat. Almost done. I want to make sure you get the whole thing in the camera view. So what I will do is sew these together first in groups of 2, so 2 and 2. Then I will probably add this one, and then I'll put it all together in a row of 5. I'll sew rows together first, then I'll stop and press them. Then I will sew the big rows together so that I have a full completed block. And once again, I'm going to end up pressing the seams open. I think it works better when I've got a lot of seams to work with. So here you can better see the entire block. So I'll put these two and these two together. Then I will add this one into the mix and then sew it all together in a row of 5. So I'll get that done and then I'll be back to show you exactly what it is that it looks like. Another easy block for us. Alright, here is my block all completed. One of the things that well, let's back up first. So here is it's called the checkerboard block, and this is our block number 15, and it's all done. I did purposely press this one different because I wanted to show you guys something. If you take a look at the back of it, when I press this, I press them all towards the blue. When it ended at blue, I pressed it towards blue. When it ended at the pink, I pressed it towards the pink. And then just arranged the blocks so that I could butt the seams together. Let me turn it back to the right side. And then you can see what happens here is they do force, by butting those seams together, it does force them to come right together. On this one, I pressed all of my seams open. Now, what I tend to do to keep my blocks coming nicely together is I will pin it on both sides. So let me fold this and I'll show you. So what I would do on a seam right here is I would put a pin here and here to hold it together, and as I stitched, when I went down just before the pin, I'd stop, pull that pin out, stitch a couple till I got to the next pin. With the needle down, I would then stop and pull that pin out. And I hope you can see, I don't know that you can, but this block comes out really smooth. I mean, even, let's see if I hold it in this direction, you could see how nice and smooth and flat that block is. Now, there's nothing wrong with this block the way it is. It's sewn, it's flat, my seams are good and flat, my blocks are square, everything's fine. I did press it towards the side, but now I'm going to pick this one up and see if you can see what I can feel with my hands and what I can see. If you lift this up, can you see those ridges? See, like right here, there's one. I can see that ridge in person. And it's not going to hurt anything. It's small enough that it's not going to get in the way of the long arm or anything else. But I do feel that. I do see that. And people will ask me all the time if I'm concerned about the fact of that I'm pressing my seams open. Are the seams going to stay put? Are they going to rip open? What's going to happen? Well, by the time I get done long arming, I really don't believe that there's any greater of a chance of my seams coming apart here than they are here. I'm using a very good quality grade of thread. The thread I use is Orifil. It's an extremely strong thread. It's a 50 weight thread. I just don't foresee that just because I press these seams open, it's going to make a difference to the point that my seams could come apart. If I ended up getting a small hole in my quilt, I could just do a basic applique stitch to be able to put the two pieces back together again and be able to just go on my merry way, and the quilt would be just fine. So that was the big thing. I just really feel like I wanted you to see the difference on these two blocks of why I do so many times press my blocks open, because I do get a lot of questions about that. But guys, it makes a difference, you know. I feel that my blocks are pretty secure, and I really don't worry that much about it. An instance like this one, quite honestly, this would have been a pain to press all of these little itty bitty seams open. But obviously I could have done it, and I chose not to. So one more time, this is our block number 15 of our springtime sampler. We actually have just 2 more blocks to do for the month of February, and then we will actually have every single one of our blocks done for our springtime sampler. Once we get done with the 2 blocks that we have left, which are the double 9 patch and the 16 patch on point, then what we are going to next be working on is our setting squares and our sashing strips and putting the entire quilt together, which will include how to cut the borders. So I will be back with either the double 9 patch or the 16 patch on point. I haven't decided which one I want to do next. And that will be the next block of our springtime sampler. Thank you so much for sticking around all the way to the end, and I will see you tomorrow with the next block.